Our next speaker is a porn star who has starred in over 300 films and has worked as a host on a few radio stations as well. On December 16, 2008, she was raped in the home of singer, producer, and host Brian McKnight. Her story is a prime example of how sexual assault is often dismissed by officials because of celebrity status, as well as because of the occupation of the victim. Please give it up for Alana Evans.
Hey everybody! This is the first time I have ever really talked about this publicly, so excuse me if I start shaking or... I know that you were all here for me, and I really appreciate it, and you don't understand truly how much it means. Today is a beautiful day. We have all gathered here for a very important reason. Even though we are all different, wow, I'm shaking! Even though we're all different, we have all made the decision to come together today to show our love and support for each other, for our families, for our children, and for the love of humankind. For many of us, this reason hits close to home. The name most of you know me as is Alana Evans, but I was born Marie Williams. I'm a mother, an avid volunteer, a registered voter, and I have never been arrested. But none of those things seem to matter the moment that I tell people that I work in the adult industry. Regardless of my love for my family or my love for my country, I am judged and criticized because I'm a sex worker. A sex worker. My job is just a job. On December 16, 2008, I was roofied and raped. My story is really no different than anyone else's. I'm at a party with people I think I can trust, and I was slipped a roofie in my beer. Did I let my guard down amongst friends? Yes, but in a perfect world, I should be able to do that. I should be able to go anywhere I want to and dress any way I choose and not be in fear of being sexually attacked. I should be able to be the only woman amongst a group of men and not have to worry. The reality of this world is the exact opposite of what it should be. We should all be safe from sex crimes and sex abuse. My attack happened during the night. Like most of the women who have been roofied, and the men who have been roofied, I was instantly sick, vomiting, and I passed out immediately. I awoke in another room a few hours later that I did not put myself in. I wasn't alone. I woke up to my attacker, a friend of a friend who was also at the party. In that one moment, I knew what was going to happen. I knew my entire world was about to change. In the darkness, the boy told me it was Nick, and he made his sexual demands. I could barely see him. I was unable to yell. I was unable to fight him off. High from whatever it was, he slipped me in my beer. All the dots connected at that point. The foamy beer flashed in my mind as my consciousness slipped away. I blacked out during the attack and awoke several hours later. I was alone, and there was light coming in through the window at the top. I left as quickly as I could. I spent the entire day in my bed, vomiting on and off. The next day, I went to my local LAPD office and I reported my attack. The officers who handled my case at first, they were very nice, but even they had their judgments. When they learned I work in the adult business, I was asked if I was being a hooker or an entertainment for the party. Just because I do porn, it was automatically assumed that I was there being a slut. So what if I was? The truth is I wasn't, but why does that even matter? If I was stripping at the party or I was a paid hooker, does that take away my right to say no? No! During the investigation, I was photographed, I was interviewed repeatedly, I was even given a rape exam. I stayed on top of the case, calling constantly to see where it was going. I didn't go public to protect my family and to give LAPD the time and the privacy that I know that they needed to do their job. It took several months for LAPD to run my rape kit, but from what I have seen and I have heard, I am one of the lucky ones because many kits are never even sent to the lab and they're never examined, and that has to change. Once my results were back, the hard reality came to slap me in my face. My DNA results didn't matter. I was then told my attacker claims it was consensual sex. Fuck that. That is right. He said I told him I was horny. Was this before or after he snuck into the room I was passed out in? Was this before or after I awoke to this monster in bed with me? Did you know that rape drugs like Rohypnol and GHB are usually out of your system within 24 hours? I didn't. By the time I gave my samples to the LAPD, it was 36 hours after I was drugged. There are many times I wish I could go back and change that night, but then I realized if it wasn't that night or that party, it could have been any house or any party. I believe if more suspects in sex crimes were brought to justice, less sex crimes would occur. We live in a county, a society, a world where sex crimes are often unreported and go unpunished. What about our victims? What about the sleepless nights with the lights on that so many of us have had? What about the millions of tears shed because of pain and injustice? When will we have district attorneys who are interested in fighting cases and not just winning them? Sex workers, deserve the right to justice, and people deserve the right to justice. Because my attacker's statement was that I consented, my case has been pushed to the side. The detective told me that it wasn't that they didn't believe me, just not enough proof. Can you tell me what other kind of proof is needed when everyone says I was intoxicated? The law clearly states that when a victim is intoxicated, roofied or not, there is no consent. So what happened to me? Is it because I'm a porn star? Does the law not protect me? Is it because I was raped in the home of a popular, famous Christian celebrity? I have learned many things from my attack. I have learned that I do not have to be just a victim. I have learned that this is not my fault. I have rights, and I deserve to be treated as every other citizen in this country. I stand before you today a survivor who demands justice regardless of my occupation or my lifestyle. I demand the right to not be judged. I am a woman, a person, a human being. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to my husband. Thank you for Jessica Drake for coming to actually support the porn industry here with me. Thank you. And thank you all for coming to support survivors like me. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sarah Barrett. Sarah Barrett graduated from Cal State Northridge and is currently a third-year law student at Southwestern Law School.